families were single, that they were all motherless or fatherless, and kids were raised by paternal grandparents, and that they were all drug dealers, they were all liquor store robbers, which, as we know, is far from the truth. The Cosby Show painted the ideal American family, a black family, where you had a father who was a well-known doctor, the mother had a well-paying job, the kids were well educated, and at that time, guys, for those of you who are old enough to remember, that was not the picture that was painted for Black America at that time. And so for that sitcom to come along and break ground and be popular amongst white Americans like me, which it was, because my family would sit down and watch Family Ties, we would watch The Cosby Show, and then we would also watch.
Do you think that led into Family Matters, Jay?
Yeah, got into Family Matters as well. So, but it was because of The Cosby Show, it appealed to white Americans like me that it didn't open my eyes, because I wasn't at all biased or bigoted or racist. But what it did was it just made us realize that, okay, this is that the average American family can be anyone. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be white. And up until that time, all the popular sitcoms depicting family life depicted white America. And so the Cosby Show broke ground on so many fronts that way. And Malcolm Jamal Warner's character in particular, Theo, was one that I could personally relate to. Even though I'm whiter than my bed sheets, I still loved Theo Huxtable, because he had a lot of spunk to him. He got into some mischief, into some trouble like I did when I was his age. So I loved the show. I'm sad to see him go. As for Ozzy Osbourne, I am a hard rock, heavy metal guy. I grew up on Black Sabbath. I grew up on Led Zeppelin. I grew up on Iron Maiden. I grew up on Megadeth, Metallica, some jazz as well. But Ozzy was one of the very first big rock concerts I went to. I remember watching Ozzy Osbourne in 1992, Shoreline Amphitheater in San Jose. He had performed with Soundgarden, which was a popular grunge band at the time. Mm-hmm. And so Ozzy in concert just blew my mind off, man. So I was very sad.
Chris Cornell too, huh?
Yeah. Very sad Ozzy's passed away. My favorite song of his of all time, Mama, I'm Coming Home, which is off the No More Tears album. Great song, great album. Ozzy and Malcolm, I'm going to miss you guys both. Thank you so much for my childhood.
Jeremy just stuck his head in. Jeremy, give you a little bit of an update on what we're doing. We're just talking for a minute about Ozzy Osbourne and Malcolm Jamal Warner, who have passed away in the last couple of days. So, and any little bits and pieces that we want to talk about when we get started here.
Yep. Today, I heard about Ozzy, and then I didn't hear about Malcolm Jamal Warner until I went on another show just before I popped in here. But yeah, I'm really sad about the Ozzy one more than the other, and it had nothing to do with whether the Cosby Show was a great show or not. I grew up watching it. It had to do with the fact that I grew up at a younger age listening to Ozzy, and I've already listened to Goodbye to Romance, I think, 10 times today.
I'll go next. Yeah, when I heard about Malcolm, that was like, it was a horrific tragedy, and I was just like, because it was the first thing that popped up on Twitter, and then I was thinking about childhood memories, like watching the Cosby Show with the family. I was used to watching shows, like Full House and all that, and then Cosby Show, I think, was like the first black comedy show I was introduced as a kid, and then it kind of just went as a trend. Like, this is it's a great show to watch. I got into shows like Family Matters, and then I've even watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I even watched classic shows from back in the days like Good Times, The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son. I became a huge fan of sitcom that involves African-American celebrities, courtesy of like Bill Cosby and The Cosby Show and Malcolm Jamal Warner. One thing I loved about him in the show, like his slick dance moves in the intro video where they're all dancing in the background. Like he had moves like Michael Jackson, you could say. And I loved how he just got his swag, snapping his fingers and all. But it was horrific finding out what happened with him. He was on vacation. That's one of the saddest deaths you can have, is like you're on vacation with your family and you die during a family getaway, like making memories. Like that's always horrible. But I mean, especially when it's at a family vacation like that, he's not the only one. There's been other celebrities that they've lost their lives trying to make memories with their family, and it's horrific. And my condolences are to his family and friends and everyone that was a part of his life, and especially that show. But Ozzy, I knew he had his farewell thing going on, but I thought it happened like at a show. Like I didn't realize he just played his last show a couple weeks ago. And that was the first thing I saw. It was like breaking news. Ozzy Osbourne passed away at 76. And it was still mind-blowing because I'm going back to them classic days when he was the Prince of Darkness and all his classic singles like Mom, I'm Coming Home. I probably heard that about 4 times today. I'm not going to complain about it. And I started to listen to his other classic hits like War Pigs and whatnot when he was with Black Sabbath. Remember, he was also part of the wrestling world. Remember, he accompanied the British Bulldogs at WrestleMania 2 when they won the tag team titles with the Dream Team. He had a memory with DX in the late 2000s. I love the World of Warcraft commercial he did in 2009. That was one of my favorites. He had cameos like an Austin Powers Gold member. That was funny as hell, too. And I loved his scene in Little Nicky as well. So rest in peace to Ozzy, and my condolences to his family and Sharon Osbourne and all of them. He lost a great icon in the music world, too.
How long was he married? They were married like forever, right?
A long time.
Oh, yeah. It was like
I don't even
How
know.
old?
close to 50.
How old was he?
Close to 50.
No,
76?
it's more than
He was 76.
so.
They got married in.
Wasn't he with
They-
Black Sabbath like the first or second album? when he
43
got
years.
43
43
years
years.
they were married.
Wow.
Ozzy Osbourne was worth 43 years.
Hey, Rick Diaz, good to see you.
We will get there. We will get there. Trust me. We got all kinds of sports to get into, Rick. Anybody else got anything about this before we move to the next thing?
Ozfest.
All right.
Can't
So
leave out
something that
Ozfest.
happened while we were broadcasting last week was the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. And this happened after we went off the air. The game is tied after 9 innings. And they go to a mini home run derby to determine the winner. 3 batters off of each side picked at random. They get 3 swings. Whoever has the most home runs wins. National League ends up winning it because Schwarber goes deep 3 times. Thoughts on using that as a way of settling the extra inning kind of scenario? Or would this be a conceivability after you get to a certain number of innings? Or do you get rid of the ghost runner and automatically implement this? Haas?
To be honest with you, I was on vacation last week. I didn't watch the All-Star game. I'm going to be blank on this one.
It's all right. Dylan?
I think this rule has become a little ridiculous, having home run derbies decide games. I mean, I understand nobody wants to pitch or play in the All-Star game now, but I think the home run derby become a little ridiculous. I understand baseball doesn't want to tie after what happened in 2002, but there are all ways to decide games better than this.
Adam?
I think they should do 3 innings of regular play, and then if it's tied after 13, go to a home run derby, just like a shootout in hockey. Switch it up. Obviously, the home runs don't count on the season, but it would determine games, would make it a little more interesting, would actually keep the fans there, because home run derby, everyone loves the long ball.
Jeremy?
Unfortunately, I don't even have cable, so I couldn't watch it.
I think you were more asking your thoughts, Jeremy. Like, what would you think about doing? It's not.
Why don't we just let it go? I'm sorry. They got the next 2 days off. Let them play it out till somebody actually earns the win. Don't do this stupid home run derby.
I'm with you there. Rav?
I like Adam's take. It kind of reminds me of the NHL, like the shootout at the end. I love those, by the way, in the NHL. So I'm not a fan of 15, 16. Just that doesn't work for me. I think after 10, 11, after 11 innings in an all-star game, perfectly fine after 9 innings. you don't want to ruin your team over an All-Star game. I can't help you with that. I'm fine with it personally.
Joe?
I enjoyed it, actually. Now, I say it all the time. Baseball is the only real all-star game out there. So I still love the baseball all-star game. I agree with what some other people said. Maybe play an inning or two, play one inning with the ghost runner. And then if nobody scores, then go to this. But, I don't mind it also because it's the result doesn't determine home field advantage in the World Series anymore. If that was still the case, then I'd say this isn't the way to end the game. But I'm totally fine with it. If I had to tweak it, I'd say wait an inning or two before you pull it out. But I was okay with it.
Jason?
I tend to agree with Joe. The All-Star game is an exhibition game. It doesn't count for anything in the standings. It no longer determines home field advantage in the World Series anymore. I understand the theory behind it, trying to draw more fan interest in it. Oh, and by the way, if you really want to draw fan interest in it, no offense to Kyle Schwarber and the other competitors, let's see Shohei Ohtani up there and Aaron Judge up there rather than Kyle Schwarber and O'Neal fucking Cruz. Pardon my French. And again, no offense to those guys, okay? But I'm in agreement with Joe. It's an exhibition game. The All-Star game doesn't need to have a victor anymore. Why not just leave it tied? If the fans leave the stadium pissed, big freaking deal. They're not going to care. It's an exhibition game. So just leave it as it is. Again, the theory behind it, I understand it, but you don't need it in an exhibition game. And you don't need it in any regular season or postseason game either. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this next thing we're going to get into a lot more next week on our show because we'll be 2 days away from it. But the Major League Baseball trade deadline is the 31st. There are a number of teams out there that are in the market for players, but there aren't that many teams out there that are just straight out of the hunt. Yeah, you've got your White Sox and your Rockies and your Pirates and things like that are decisively out. But when you look at the Major League Baseball standings, outside of Baltimore, the White Sox, the A's, the Nationals, the Pirates, and the Rockies, everybody else is within 9 games of a wild card spot. So a really hot week or two can get you right up in there. So my question to you guys, and I know Jason, especially being the Dodger guy and all the injuries they've been dealing with and all that kind of stuff, who do you see as the team that's going to make the biggest and most moves at the trade deadline? Jason, I'm going to let you start.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the team that's going to make, at least I think that's going to make the biggest moves at the trade deadline is the Chicago Cubs. There's number one. The LA Dodgers will, just to fortify that rickety bridge of a bullpen they have. A third team I think that's going to make the biggest moves at the trade deadline as a seller rather than a buyer, probably the Arizona Diamondbacks, maybe the Baltimore Orioles. The reason I say the Cubs are going to make the most noise is because the St. Louis Cardinals have now lost, I think, 11 of their last 13 games. They're slowly slipping out of the NL Central. While the Milwaukee Brewers have the longest winning streak in MLB right now, they are a good, solid team, by the way. I love Milwaukee. We all know that they're going to eventually cool off too. And even though they are a good team, they're going to come back down to earth and cool down. The Cubs right now are the most balanced team in the NL Central, and Jed Hoyer right now is smelling blood in the water. And he knows with as good as Milwaukee is, he's going to try and put as much distance between them and that team as possible. Cubs, are, from what I've been reading, are in on just about everybody. Eugenio Suarez from Arizona. They've asked around to Minnesota about Joan Duran and their bullpen, and Joe Ryan, the starter. I hear it's going to take a king's ransom to get Joe Ryan. So I think the Cubs will make the most noise. Arizona, to me, again, I think they'll make the most noise as a buyer, but I also think Arizona is going to be sellers and buyers, because they're going to try and unload some of their loftier contracts that they have on some of their older players, like Eugenio Suarez. But I also think they're going to look to add more young talent too, because they have a good young core of players there in Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, Gabby Moreno, who is a good young catcher. Zach Gallen's going to be gone. I think Merrill Kelly's going to be gone. So I think Arizona's going to do a little bit of both. And the Dodgers, of course, aside from bullpen help, they need a lot of depth help on their bench because their bench right now is like paper thin. They do not have a lot of depth, especially with Kike Hernandez now on the IL. They have no idea when he's coming back. And we all know he's clutch in October rather than the regular season. So LA, Chicago for me, Arizona as a buyer and seller. As far as sellers, again, Baltimore's probably going to sell. Don't be surprised if the Cardinals sell as well, considering they're sliding out of it now. So a number of things could happen. Okay, I said too much. Next person.
Joe, what do you got, man?
Well, I mean, I'm a Mets fan, so I go for a Mets perspective, and their main focus is middle relief. And a lot of competition for middle relievers, so it's going to be tough as far as they're concerned. But that's the number one goal for them. I counted the other day. I was looking at the standings, and I think I counted 23 teams that are still realistically in playoff contention here. So I'm going to be very intrigued by who are the sellers, who are, the main buyers. I mean, I think we know who the main buyers are going to be, and I think Jason was spot on with that. I see a hand raised. I'm going to defer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, what do you got, Dylan?
You want three? Okay, I'll give you 3 buyers and 3 sellers. Sellers first. I think Arizona. Suarez seemingly gone. Gallen having a terrible year, but has pitched well in previous season. Merrill Kelly. Minnesota with Duran. I mean, maybe a Bader. I think they have Twins have a couple of so guys. Joe Ryan could fetch a ton in this market right now, and then maybe Kansas City. I mean, who knows what happens if Seth Lugo's available? Go and buyers. The Phillies not only need bullpen help, they got Dave Robinson back, but it's probably need an outfielder. I think the LA Dodgers should be glad they're not in the NL Central because the Milwaukee Brewers are making switch cheese out of LA this year, 6-0. I think the Dodgers have to get pitching, maybe Suarez, maybe one of those big fish, and then I don't want to say the Cubs because everyone's probably going to say the Cubs. I think the Yankees have to get a starting pitcher or 2 and a third baseman because the Yankees are not going to win the pennant with Oswaldo Peraza at third base. That's not going to work in October. Yeah. Peraza playing third base. I mean, Volpe was terrible. I made another bad play last night in Toronto.
Yeah, that is true. Jeremy, what do you got?
Here's one that nobody said, and they end up selling every time they should be buying. The Rays. Every time they are in a playoff contention, they sell off players that they would have to re-sign the next year because their owner is cheaper than any other one in the league. That's why they're at the bottom of the league, but they get success by calling up the right people from the farm system. So the Rays. You also got to look at the Yankees. They buy every year. Why? Because they don't care about the damn cap.
Wait, Jeremy, you realize the Rays have got new ownership coming potentially the end of the year. And
right.
If you talk about
end of the year, it's still the same cheap ownership right now that has the manager sell players when they're in playoff contention and still make the playoffs. They do it every year.
Wait a minute. Did you say there's a cap in baseball?
Well, you know what I'm talking about. The luxury tax.
The luxury tax.
Imaginary cap.
I'm being sarcastic because there's no
such
thing.
You got the normal level, then you got the first tax level, and then you got the luxury tax level. We all know that there's 3 levels of salary in the MLB.
They're invisible.
By the way, Jeremy, in terms of cheap owners, what about the Pirates? The Little League team could provide more offense than what the Pirates have done for Paul Skeens this year.
Oh, yeah. In fact, Adam, I got you next, man.
Oh, is he going? I don't think Adam's there.
He's there.
He's hiding out in the dark.
Yeah. He slid back into the darkness again. He's
Hey, man.
he's trying. Yeah, he's doing an ayahuasca retreat with Aaron Rodgers.
He's about ready to go Mitch Hedberg on everybody over there.
No. What do you want me to say? I mean, the Pirates, they're gonna sell the whole team, except for Paul Skeens.
They're not going to sell the whole team.
Okay, they're gonna get rid of 6 of their 9 starters. All right.
You'll hear more about this tomorrow night on Steel
The
City
right
Sports
price
Talk.
comes around, Rich. This whole team could be down the drain.
My delusional co-host tomorrow night.
But I mean, the Marlins. You know, they traded for all these prospects, and they're still in the hunt considerably.
The Marlins actually sound like they might be a little bit of buyers during the trade deadline. They like where
Isn't
they're
that
at.
weird from a year ago, Jay?
It is. But you know, the funny thing about the Marlins is that you look at them on paper and you see just basic names, but look at the season that Kyle Stowers is having for him this year. He's probably the 3rd or the 4th best hitter in the National League right now, both batting average wise and power wise. I think Sandy Alcantara is gone. I think that's a foregone conclusion. He's gone. But the Marlins realize for a change what they have. And so even though they're only 5 or 6 games under 500, if they can do what I think Arizona will do, which is addition by subtraction, be both buyers and sellers, Miami can at least make it interesting. And not only that, but if they do buy a little bit heading towards the end of the year, going into the off season, they can decide if they want to add a little bit more payroll to their team with some of the other young talent they have coming up. So don't sleep on the fish. I'm not saying they're going to make a wild card-esque run the way the Texas Rangers did 2 years ago, or Arizona did for that fact, but I don't think they're going to be wholesale sellers like they were in the past when they got unloaded guys like Kevin Brown, Gary Sheffield, Ivan Rodriguez, and all those guys.
Stowers hurts my heart. Orioles couldn't find room for him. He hit 13 home runs in spring training the year before, and they sent him to AAA. No space there, and all he's done is have an MVP season in Miami. Like, that's just crazy. Orioles are definitely selling, no question about it. Michael Elias has already said he's looking to unload guys. Liriano, Batista, even Adley rumor I heard. So I think they're definitely going to sell as well. The team you didn't mention was the Toronto Blue Jays, which you are in first place above, so they may have to do something.
They're going to
Cubs, Dodgers. We know they don't know. Dodgers and Yankees, they don't know how not to get something. So for sure, Mets too. We know. So that's that. But the Orioles are definitely selling, no question.
So you got, man. What do you got?
Well, on behalf of the Astros, I see the potential as a buyer, but the Astros are in contention, so they're not going to stand pat, especially considering they have some needs. I mean, Dana Brown made it clear he'd like to add a left-handed batter, even if Jordan doesn't come back at some point. But they have the fewest at-bats in the big leagues from the left side of the plate, but don't rule them out if they add another starting pitcher they could put after Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez in the rotation. That's what I got on the Astros. Now, to a former Astro, I feel like the Red Sox might put Alex Bregman back on the market. So if that's the case, good luck with that $40 million a year you were preaching about.
Well, and the Rangers, I think when you look at what the Rangers are doing right now, they're playing very well. They're winning tonight 2-1. They finally cracked over the 500 mark. They're a half game out of the last wild card spot. I think that they are very similar to the Pirates when it comes to no run support for their pitchers. Mm-hmm. But the big thing that I'm looking at is I think that you're going to see the Rangers working on getting a closer. And I would not be the least bit surprised to see Adolis Garcia being used as a chip to bring somebody in. I was pretty surprised they didn't sign David Robertson, bring him back. But at the same time, I think we're going to see the Rangers going after the bullpen help and maybe a spot starter, but I think they're okay with that. They need some bullpen help bad. Shifting gears completely.
Holy cow!
And I
We
know
might be 41-61, folks. Jeremy, your taggers could not show up right now.
It is what it is. We need a right-handed bat and we need a bullpen. Same problem Jason's having. They have a bullpen issue. We have a bullpen issue. Look, we couldn't beat Seattle with scoring 7 runs in the first 4 innings and give up the lead and lose because the bullpen is so bad and so injured.
Yep, the Dodgers just put Tanner Scott on the IL for God knows how long. Kirby Yates throws
It
coconuts
said
over
10
home
days,
plate every single
Jay.
night.
I thought you saw that. It said 10 days.
10 days,
Tanner.
my ass. The Dodgers
That's
always.
That's what it
Dodgers-
said.
The Dodgers always bullshit the severity of their injuries. I know because I read about them every day. Dave Roberts says, "Oh yeah, he'll miss 10 days one day," and then he'll come out tomorrow and say, "Oh, on second thought, he's actually going to miss the rest of the year."
That's all managers and coaches all day. We've been killing Mike. We've been killing Brent. Same thing. Grayson Rodriguez. Nobody even knows what's happening. He's missed the whole season.
I'll tell you what, the team to me that I think is under the most pressure to actually buy at the trade deadline is the Seattle Mariners. You have an American League West that is still winnable, even though the Astros are probably the best team in that division right now. Cal Raleigh is having a historic season offensively for a catcher. You have some other – Julio Rodriguez is not the star player he should be primarily because I think he's still mentally getting over his injuries. But if you look at the Mariners, they do have some money to spend. Jerry DiPoto was under a lot of pressure this winter to add players via free agency. He didn't do it. He was under pressure last year at this time to add at the trade deadline when they were in contention. He didn't do it, and he got hacked. DiPoto's job is on the line here. And if I'm DiPoto, I look at where my team is at, just I think a game and a half, maybe 2 games out of first place in the AL West. With some of the young talent they have, and their pitching especially, Logan Gilbert, Ryan Wu, George Kirby, why aren't you going to add? Give the Mariners fans something to be proud of, give them something to cheer for, and add some players. You can do it. You have depth in your farm system, even though it's not strong. You have some pieces in your farm system that other teams would crave to have. Make the deal. If you really want to contend the way you say you do, Jerry DiPoto, make the deal, or it could potentially cost you your job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've probably got the best starting 4 in baseball. I think that's right. You know, with Luis Castillo added to those guys you were talking about. Let's get controversial for a minute.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys saw this. I'm sure you did. There were these little T-shirts floating around in the last week or so saying, "Pay us what you owe us." These were worn by the All-Stars in the WNBA All-Star game. Me personally, and then we'll go to you guys. When they start making money, they can start paying them what they might deserve. The only owner in the entire league that's making any money this season is the Indiana Fever owner, and we all know why that's happening. Young lady that wears 22. So, Jeremy, where are you at on this whole thing? Do these women have a leg to stand on? And fire away, man.
Okay. Their total income is based solely off of sponsorships and ticket sales right now. And right now, they are making 28.2% of what the NBA makes. Guess what? For the amount of money they make, they technically make more percentage-wise than the men right now. They need to shut the hell up.
Joe?
You know what? I do have more respect than I ever did for the WNBA. There's, some marketable players in the league. But upon saying that, you're just not at a point. Now, I didn't know those stats that were just mentioned there. But I'm thinking you're at a point where you're still not ready for prime time. And somebody just put a note here that, that the money will run out if they end up paying these people too much. So I just think you're not based on attendance, based on the money that the league is making. I don't think you're at a position to be paid that kind of money yet, unfortunately.
Jason?
Well, before I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to suffice by saying I have a daughter who plays athletics right now, and I know that if she was in the position that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and some of the other WNBA players are, I would be front and center and support her. And if she was in the same situation. Now, with that being said, we do have to face a grim reality here, and it's already been mentioned in this forum tonight. The WNBA is not as popular as the NBA. And even though the NBA has been waning a lot in popularity over the last few years, it is still a stronger national market. It's still a stronger global market than the WNBA currently is. I look at it this way. The WNBA wants to be taken seriously as a league, and its athletes want to be taken seriously as primetime, top-notch stars. And I get that. And Caitlin Clark is a star. Angel Reese is a star. But bottom line, the odds are just stacked too far against them. Financially, from a sponsor standpoint, they're never going to be able to get the sponsors or the endorsers the way that the guys do. That's not being chauvinistic, ladies. That's not being biased. That's just a matter of fact. If the WNBA really wants to lobby to get more pay for its athletes, then what they need to do is shut the hell up in the news. They need to quit bashing each other, throwing each other under the bus. Someone needs to put Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in a corner for about 2 hours, tell them to kiss and make up and shake hands, go out there and give and play your best basketball. Now, the WNBA has gotten more popular incrementally, which bodes well for them. But are they going to be able to get national TV sponsors to have them featured on games of the week the way the NBA does or the way the NFL does or even Major League Baseball? The answer to that is I just don't know. So while I respect their right to stand up and demand better pay, the fact of the matter is they're playing a sport that is still dominated by the guys, both financially and popularity. And that's something that probably won't change for a long time. So, and I think Jeremy just said too, they're already making a good amount of money. So it's not like they're swimming in the gutter and they're throwing rocks out on the street. And again, ladies, I support them in what they're doing, even though I think they're fighting a cause that will probably end up falling by the wayside there. If I contradicted myself, I apologize.
You're good. Rav?
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to pretend to be a big WNBA person because I'm not. So just get that out the way right there. But I could tell you, but I do know the business aspect of it. NBA just signed for $7 billion contract with Disney, re-up with NBC is back with Amazon. And this is why they want some of that money, because that's a lot of money the NBA is getting. They're pretty much going to double and a half their rights fees they were getting. And so they're seeing this and they want more money. I do agree they should get more money. I don't think they're going to run out of money. I mean, based on the numbers that I just get, simply because I think I feel the same way about minor league baseball too. Why is it such a huge disparity of that? Minor league baseball, they're not even making subsistence level. So I do think you got a Caitlin Clark making all this money, Angel Reese and all that. There are some exceptions where you could. Caitlin Clark is $1 million player. Asia Wilson is bringing in $1 million. So I think there should be more given. Not as much as the men, but more than they're currently getting. Some of them aren't really making a lot of money.
Yeah, you're right. Adam?
Look, Caitlin Clark saved this league, and the way they don't protect her, I think that really turns a lot of people away because they just kind of let in them just beat the living hell out of her. But then again, we watched this great player, number 23 in Chicago, get beat the living hell out of. Played, 3 straight seasons in a row, didn't miss any games. I understand Caitlin Clark finally got hurt. I mean, they beat the shit out of her. But I think Caitlin Clark kind of reminds me of that guy, number 23, a little bit, just with, I know the rings aren't there yet or the trophies, but remember, Jordan didn't win till the 90s and he came in the 80s. So,
Didn't it take him 3 years to get past Detroit in the playoffs?
Right. He came in 84? And
It was longer than that. It was longer than that. Then it was 5 years because 89 was the last year that the Pistons won the championship.
Right, it went
it took
91,
Chicago
92,
6
93,
years.
right? Because we almost
Absolutely
had
true. This is why
Yeah,
he
we're-
doesn't like Isaiah Thomas to this day. Isaiah's really the only guy when Jordan was in his prime that where he lost.
Right. And
more than once.
between him, Bill Lambier, and Dennis Rodman, those three guys shut Jordan down.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing about everybody, if you've heard these people talking about the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese deal, they're trying to make it like Bird and Magic. There's one massive difference.
Angel
Bird
Reese.
and Magic were both spectacular players. Angel Reese is awful. She can rebound, but she
Yeah, 'cause
can't
it's her own
play
shot.
outside of rebounding. There
It's
is
her
no
own
way
shot.
you can make that
Awful's going too
comparison
far,
at all.
Rich.
I know.
Awful's
I
going
know.
too far.
Okay,
There are
we're-
people
we're-
making that comparison, and it's like, no.
Let-
Dylan,
okay,
what do you
before-
got, man?
I've
Sorry,
got, I actually think we should go to a different topic, but in the meantime, I have a trivia question for you guys.
Hold
I
on.
have a
Jeremy
trivia
had something to say on this topic before we get off this topic. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Okay, when it comes to Angel Reese, last year, when she set the rebounding record, do you know what her shooting percentage was for the season? 19.8%.
Yeah, I knew it was around 20. Yeah.
I didn't say she was as good as Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying, but
Most of
awful
her
is too
rebounds come off of her misses, right?
awful is too far. This woman won a championship at LSU. She was a good player.
wait.
Is she as good as Caitlin Clark?
Wait.
No. I'm just saying, awful is way too
Okay,
far.
but wait a minute. As someone that watched Kim Mulkey win 3 of them in Waco, Texas, with nowhere near that kind of talent that Angel Reese has got, there's a whole bunch of other talent on that LSU team besides Angel Reese that won that championship. She was not the key to winning that championship in any
No
way, shape, or
way.
form.
But I'm just
No
saying,
way.
awful is that's
No,
way too
compared,
much.
okay, wait, no. Compared to Caitlin Clark, who does rebounding, assists, and shooting, all at a very high level, and Angel Reese can't shoot her way out of a wet paper bag with a BB gun.
Hey, I got a question too here now. Rich, I think you mentioned the NBA having the massive contract, or somebody mentioned it. Didn't the WNBA get a huge contract with Peacock or something like that? I mean, I don't know how, the extent of it or when it starts, if it starts next year like the NBA. But that maybe you wait a couple of years after that gets going to do that. But am I mistaken? Didn't they get a big contract with like Peacock or NBC?
Yeah, the WNBA got a deal with Peacock and with NBC, but it's going to be mostly the derivatives. They've also got still got a deal with ESPN as well, where they're going to be carrying some games over on their but they've got an 11-year agreement with Disney, Amazon Prime, NBC, averaging $200 million a season for the 11 years. It's $2.2 billion total.
That money.
You say the NBA one was like, it wasn't 8 billion.
That money they're getting now, you can kill like teams losing money. That's not going to happen anymore. They're getting so much money. NBC's going with the NBA every Tuesday night this fall. You're going to have game no, dude. There is going to be so much money, and that's why these women are upset, because they see all this money that's coming in, and some of them aren't getting money. And I look, I'm not a big WNBA at all. I'm just saying, I know that business. When you see money coming into a business, you're going to ask for more money. That's business 101.
Mm-hmm. Right, but they're not the ones bringing in the money. The WNBA players outside of Caitlin Clark and a little bit of Angel Reese are not bringing in the merch and bringing in the sponsorships and bringing that kind of stuff in. It's trickled down from the NBA. As someone that's been in marketing and promotions for 20 years, I can tell you this. There's a lot of those deals that the WNBA has that is, okay, if you buy this deal with the NBA, we'll give you this deal with the WNBA for 20% of what you're spending or whatever, or they'll even throw it in if they spend a big contract with the NBA. So that money that the NBA, that the WNBA is supposedly seeing because of these sponsorships and all that, really isn't the case, because the NBA is getting the money. The WNBA, the sponsors and all that, they couldn't care less. They want the NBA. They don't want the WNBA as much as they want the NBA. So
Dylan had something, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, Dylan, what do you got?
I've got a question for you guys. How many people watch women's college basketball because of Caitlin Clark? How many people watch women's college basketball because of Cheryl Swoops back in the day?
That's not a fair comparison.
I did. Cheryl Swoops was nice looking back in the day.
But it's not even. It's just not a fair comparison. You didn't
Reggie
have the
Miller's
avenues.
sister.
You didn't have social media. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have all these different ways to promote Cheryl Swoops. As a tech guy, as a Cheryl Swoops fan, if she would have had the same access in 1986, 85, 86, 87 that Caitlin Clark had to all the different avenues, there would have been more people watching Cheryl Swoops, because I think Cheryl Swoops is as good a player in her day as Caitlin Clark is now.
For that fact, you might as well say that cable wasn't that good either then.
No, cable was in its infancy, I guess you could say.
It was in full swing by that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was no Red Zone channel. There was no All Access Sports channel. There was no
streaming. Yeah.
Right. You got a box, and if you split the lines, you could put it on a different TV.
Yep.
Not everybody had cable either. Like the whole run, people underestimate that. I don't think cable ever got to more than 80% of how. There was always a percentage of people who didn't have cable television.
Right, that's because 20% of America was too rural and they didn't have the cable ran to those areas. So that's when Dish Network and the satellite dishes and everything else came into play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, guys, I got one for you. I mentioned to a couple of you guys backstage, I got another one of these group questions for you guys. Okay?
Oh boy.
And this one I think most of them will get relatively quickly, but there's a couple that we probably won't. There are 11 U.S. cities that have only one pro sports team. Name them.
Jacksonville.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that's one I was
two of them.
say.
Jacksonville and Oklahoma City.
Are we counting NHL too, or
this is MLB, NFL, NBA, NHL, the big four.
Portland.
Huh?
San Jose, California.
Portland, yes. San Jose, yes.
Raleigh.
What about New Jersey?
Say again?
New Jersey?
Newark. Yeah, the New Jersey
Newark,
Devils.
New Jersey.
Wouldn't that be considered? I don't know. Isn't that where the Giants play though? New Jersey?
No.
I don't count that one. That's New York.
At East Rutherford. New Jersey. He's saying one city, one team, and he's right. New Jersey Devils would be that one in Newark.
It is not on this list. No,
I don't count.
It should be.
That's New York. That's like 8 miles.
Green Bay.
Green Bay, yes.
Calgary, Edmonton.
U.S.
I mean,
cities.
if we're going totally different city, then it's got to be New England.
Foxborough. But is that considered Boston, a suburban Boston?
That's
You said a single city with a single sports team. Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Foxborough is part of Boston, part of Greater Boston.
It's an hour away, though.
It's still part of Greater Boston.
So's Ledyard. And that's still considered a suburb of Boston.
It's the Greater Boston area counts as Boston.
I could do this all year. Like, there's a lot of teams playing the burbs.
How about
I got one. I got another
Orlando?
one. I got another one. Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City.
No,
we got two.
No, they got a hockey team now.
Oh fuck, that's right. They got a
team.
hockey team now. Okay, never mind. I forgot.
Rich.
So we have
Columbus?
currently Jacksonville, San Jose, Oklahoma City, Green Bay, and Portland.
Orlando.
We got those 5. And Orlando. I'm sorry, I didn't hear Orlando. That's 6.
We're not counting Major League Soccer then, right?
No, the big
baseball, football, basketball, hockey.
What about Long Island? The Islanders.
Yep.
But the Islanders play.
New York City.
They play in Brooklyn now. They're the Brooklyn Islanders.
Madison Square Garden's still in New York, and that has a team that plays in it in the Knickerbockers, so that don't count.
Yeah. Now, as a former Long Islander, I would disagree with them being a New York City team. But
I think Dylan had his hand up first.
Dylan, what do you got?
I've got 3. The Carolina Panthers in Raleigh, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the San Diego Padres.
Well, Carolina Panthers are in Charlotte, but
Hurricanes.
Right.
Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Oh, Raleigh.
That's Raleigh.
Yeah.
Raleigh is right.
What was the other 2 he said? He said Raleigh. He said 2.
He was right about the other ones too.
Why wouldn't the Blue Jackets be there?
Columbus.
Memphis is
Columbus is on the list. That's right. That is right. There are 12. I'm sorry. There are 12.
Memphis is one, right?
There are 1, 2. There's 4 that we haven't said.
Yep. Memphis.
1 or 2. 2 are on the West Coast. 1 and the other 2 are in the central part of the United States.
Oh, San Diego.
That's been said.
Oh wait. Okay, now one in. If I remember right, there's one in Kansas City, Missouri, and one in Kansas City, Kansas, right?
No, Missouri. It's like Texarkana. It's still Texarkana. Nope. 2 on the West Coast, 2 in the central part of the country. I'm really surprised Jason hasn't gotten the other 2 that are on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, I know one. I know another one. I got another one. San Antonio.
That's one of them, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
There's 3 left. 2 are on the West Coast. Sacramento's one of them.
Anaheim. No, Anaheim's got 2.
Yeah, Anaheim has hockey and baseball.
Yeah.
Sacramento, they're no longer in Sacramento. They play in LA, though. The Kings.
Did somebody say Orlando?
The A's are temporarily playing baseball in Sacramento right now at a minor league stadium.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Right, but
they're considered.
Think about this for a minute.
One because they play in Santa Cruz.
But the
but wait a minute. Hold on. Go back 10, Jason. Go back 10 and punt. Arizona, the A's are playing in a minor league stadium in Sacramento. They are not the Sacramento A's. They are the A's.
No, they're just the A's.
They are not using the Sacramento name. But how many major league teams are in Oakland?
That would be 0.
Right.
The Warriors.
San Francisco.
The Warriors
They're not in
Golden
San
State
Francisco.
Warriors are considered in San Francisco.
Yep,
They are. That's true.
But they also have the Giants in San Francisco.
Or Sacramento.
They play right by
San
Oracle Park.
Francisco.
But
They're considered in San Francisco, Oakland.
But my point being is the Sacramento Kings play in LA in the Staples Center when the LA Lakers aren't there. They're not in Sacramento anymore. They're the LA Kings now, aren't they?
No.
That's
Sacramento
hockey.
The Clippers play at Staples Center.
That's hockey.
I'm talking about basketball.
Clippers
Actually,
moving into a dome.
There's
As a-
not
as a-
3
Jeremy,
teams that play at Staples Center, man.
First of all,
Jeremy,
slight
the
correction.
Clippers
As a
and the
California native here, I
Lakers.
can tell you the LA Clippers have their own arena now. It's called the Intuit
Oh, that's
Dome.
right,
and
they did. That's right.
It's in Los Angeles.
It's a state-of-the-art facility.
Sacramento Kings play at the Golden One Center, which is in the heart of downtown Sacramento. Jeremy, you're thinking of the LA Kings who share crypto.com with the LA Lakers.
Right. Okay.
And Golden State plays.
We
Chase
have
Center.
one left. We have one left, and it's in the middle of the country. Literally in the middle of the country.
Hold on, I'm thinking hard.
Oh man, I'm just drawing a blank.
Cincinnati.
Oh, St. Louis.
St. Louis Cardinals.
No, they have the Blues and the Cardinals.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, that's right. I got 2 teams. Shit.
Go a little south.
Little?
Okay. All right. Not Nashville. They got 2.
I said Memphis.
I could say
That's
one
east.
person's name, and about half of you guys would go, "Oh yeah."
Oh wait. No, let me think. Oh shit! Let me think. Oh,
This actually isn't the one I thought was going to hang you guys up.
It's not New Orleans.
no, they got 2.
Yeah.
You go north of New Orleans.
Let me pull a fucking map up of the country, and I'll think.
Well, somebody said
And then that
Memphis
can hit
here.
me.
Did you hear him?
Yeah,
I didn't
Rory
hear
did.
Memphis.
He already
I said Memphis. Yeah, I said
Okay, I
Memphis.
didn't hear Memphis. That's
Yeah.
the one that I was looking for.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah,
what
he-
you're
I
talking
didn't hear
about.
Memphis.
Oh, yeah,
He said
they said Memphis like 5 times.
Yeah, it was like
I
5,
never
6
heard
times.
Memphis. Never heard it.
You know
sorry
what?
about that. But yeah, that was the other one that I was looking for was Memphis. I didn't hear Memphis. So but
That's
that
a
one,
great
that one's a
question.
little, you know,
Great question.
I try to come up with ones that are going to be kind of a group, you know, collaborative. One person wouldn't necessarily get it, but a whole group of us could.
Mhm.
You know what?
Um,
You know what, Rich? I think you and I should have a trivia show. And I'm be honest with you, I don't think you have a chance of beating me.
Jesus.
I've already
Christ.
proven this a couple times, haven't I, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
with
sounds like a
the
challenge.
Yeah.
worst Warcraft questions ever.
A challenge.
Well,
A challenge.
before we go into that, let me run into something else, which of course, you know, training camps for the NFL, a lot of them are starting tomorrow. And we've got the most important position on the field is going to be challenged by 4 teams. Because there's really 4 teams that have the quarterback position up in the air. So what I want to know is who you guys think wins this quarterback battle. Let's start with the New York Giants, and we'll go through the 4 teams going around the room. The New York Giants, of course, you have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart. Who is the QB1 on the first Sunday of the regular season? Jason.
You know what? Just because of the experience, it's going to be hard to argue against Russell Wilson. I know they're really high on Jackson Dart. Jameis Winston right now, the rest of his career is pretty much on borrowed time. Whatever he was going to do, it was going to be a long time ago. I guess, Rich, it really depends on if the Giants think they can be contenders right away or if they're really going to go into full or to continue their rebuild mode. If they think they can contend with what they have, they're going to go with Russell Wilson on day one, which I think they will. But if they're not convinced about that, then I think they're going to go with Jackson Dart. Either way, they will let all 3 guys duke it out. But in the end, I think it'll be Russell Wilson on day one.
Joe?
Well, besides the Bills, the Giants are my favorite team. I grew up a Giants fan here, so I want to really see them do well. So what I'm hearing is Jackson Dart's not going to play unless it's absolutely necessary. I mean, there's some coaching and GM jobs on the line here. And if the 2 veterans falter, they might throw him in there a little sooner than later. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I think Russell Wilson gets the nod. I think he's the starter. And I think this team is better than people think. So I definitely see Russell Wilson getting the nod here.
Jeremy?
I think it's going to end up being Jackson Dart because Russell Wilson has been trashed by even his coach right now. Yeah, nobody is coming out, and we know Tommy DeVito couldn't hold a lunch pail compared to half the 80% of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So it's going to end up being Jackson Dart by week 5. Week 1, it might be Russell Wilson just because they're trying to let him hold a clipboard and develop, but it'll end up being Jackson Dart.
Adam?
Oh, I think it's going to be Jackson Dart. I just
Nolan?
do.
If not for a brutal start, Jackson Dart be starting, but I think Russ will start early. Jackson Dart will start late.
Haas?
My brain says Jackson Dart. My heart says Jameis Winston because he's such a character.
Rav?
I don't see any scenario where they stick with Russell. I think Jackson Dart, from what I'm seeing in all the news, that I think somebody wants Jackson Dart to start week 1. I think if it's close, it'll be Jackson Dart.
I'm glad to see you guys are coming around to what I've been saying for the last year now. Jackson Dart. He's wearing the wrong uniform, but Jackson Dart. So now we move, and Haas, you go last on this one.
Okay.
Because we're going to the Fighting New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Shaw, or whatever, however the hell you want to pronounce it, against Spencer Rattler. Jeremy.
Yes.
Lead off.
Anyone but Spencer Rattler, because Baby Mahomes, as they were calling him when he came out of college, he's dog crap.
Joe.
Yeah, I don't know much about either. I think it's going to be what you guys were saying about the Giants here. I think Rattler gets the start, but I think after a few games that changes.
Jason?
I'm pretty much in agreement with everybody else. I think it's going to be Spencer Rattler. Rattler or bust.
Rav?
I don't think Spencer Rattler was that horrible last year as quiet as his kept. I don't know if he's a good NFL starter, but I'd start Spencer Rattler. Tyler Shaw, that was one of the worst picks in the whole draft, I thought. Way too high.
Adam?
I think it's going to be Tyler.
Dylan?
They wouldn't have had to draft a quarterback if they believed it's Spencer Rattler.
Who you got?
Tyler Shuck will be starting week 1 in New Orleans.
All right, Haas, wrap him up.
Okay, so as you know, the first preseason game is August 10th against the Chargers. That's going to be the competition test, and I wish they'd stop putting Jake Hayner's name in there. Jake Hayner ain't no fucking starter. It's going to come down to Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, and they got 3 games to prove that besides training camp. They've been fully riding on Tyler Shuck. You haven't been hearing Spencer Rattler's name lately, especially now that Shuck just signed his contract yesterday. He's guaranteed $10 million for 4 years. Plus, he got that unique annual roster bonus structure where he will receive majority of that compensation during the first week of training camp. So he's about to get his money tomorrow, baby. But I'm going to have to say Tyler Shuck for now. When the weeks go by, if they don't improve, then I can see Spencer Rattler trying to step in, because I don't want to go a bad way and say Shuck gets hurt. We don't want that. We want to ride on Shuck like we've rode with Spencer Rattler or even Derek Carr for the last couple of years. But we'll see what happens. But that's what I got for there. Plus, I got something Saints I'll bring up later. But back to you, Rich.
It's funny you mentioned injury because that kind of leads into the next team that we're going to talk about. The four teams that have quarterback battles are going to be prominent in this training camp. Number 3, the Fighting Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Richardson has not been put on the PUP list. They're saying that his shoulder should be ready for training camp. And he's going to compete for that starting job. Anthony Richardson v. Daniel Jones. Dylan, let's start it off.
Can I go both? I think both of them end up starting in points this year.
Oh, you mean week 1? Week 1.
You know what? AL-15.
Okay. Haas?
Anthony Richardson.
Adam?
As bad as Anthony Richardson was, I don't think they're ready to give up hope on him yet. But he does some shit like he did last year. I think they're going to bench him quicker than anyone's going to get benched.
Quicker than a hiccup.
Yeah.
Jeremy? Yeah, I think you're right. Jeremy?
Actually, the reports I've been hearing out in Indianapolis is Daniel Jones is doing way better, and Anthony Richardson can't even practice yet. The starter at week 1 will be Daniel Jones.
Rav?
Boy, oh boy. If the Saints aren't the worst quarterback situation this is, I think they lose either way. I mean, my God, this is worse. This is worse. I think I'm hearing I'm right in there with Jeremy though. Everything I'm seeing is Daniel Jones, and that tells you all you need to know about Anthony Richardson. You can't beat out Daniel Jones. Bad either way. I don't think they're going to improve at all. Worse, terrible.
Joe,
Brad, can you tag my show on Twitter?
can I? Who? What?
I just realized and saw my name is not on Twitter tonight.
I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it on your Facebook. For whatever reason, it didn't hit Twitter.
Everything I'm reading is saying that Anthony Richardson has a chance to not be ready for week 1.
Right.
So
He's still not even playing at camp yet.
they're going to be stuck with Daniel Jones there, I think, and he's the week 1 starter by default.
Jason?
I got to go Daniel Jones. Sorry. Just got to go Daniel Jones. I know he's really not much better, but Anthony Richardson hasn't proven that he's ready to play quarterback at this level. And I even read something earlier this week on, I think it was Yahoo Sports, where a scout from a rival AFC team, number scouts actually, said that Richardson came out of college way too early. So, got to go Daniel Jones. I know he's not great, but compared to Richardson, he's Joe Montana.
Yeah, I'm going Danny Dimes too, but this one I'm really interested in because to me it's the most intriguing of all of them. The fighting Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders. Adam, lead us off.
Considering the fact the Browns can't catch a break with the cops right now, didn't Judikins get hurt, get arrested, and then Shador Sanders doing 110 or whatever the hell it was? What does Kevin Stefanski do? I mean, if he sucks this year, I think his job's on the line. Now that he has a huge quarterback room. I really have not been paying attention to the Browns, if you want me to be honest. But as a Pittsburgher, I hope Kenny Pickett gets a start.
Jeremy, save me.
Joe Flacco will take his Viagra come week 1 and take the job. Shaduki Sanders gets claimed by the Toronto Argonauts.
Ooh, 2 hot takes there. Mr.
I
Dalio.
mean, here's the thing about Joe Flacco, guys. We watched him play come in week 14, lead the Browns to the playoffs, and then in the playoffs, his arm just said, bye. And he threw every ball short. The Texans picked him off 3 times, I think, that game. He looked awful. The age thing catches up, and I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I've already said this about 4,850 times, and I'm going to say it another 5,820. The Cleveland Browns deserve the mess that they're in, and I think you all know why. I think they're going to try to flash back to 2023, and Joe Flacco gets the start. Whether he stays in, remains to be seen, but I think Flacco gets the nod first.
Rab, I just wanted you to share it on Twitter. Like, tag me on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, I was adding.
Yeah,
Nope.
That's why. Like last time I did that, it didn't work. That's why I said share it. Anyway.
Okay, good.
Jason, who you got?
You know what? God.
I knew this was going to be the most intriguing one because it's the toughest one for all of us to pick.
It really is, because you can't go right with any of them, really, at this point. I mean, if you had asked me this question a month ago, I would have said Joe Flacco, just because of the street cred, because of the experience, the Super Bowl ring that he does have in his trophy case somewhere. And he's still actually, at his age, a serviceable quarterback. Ask the New York Jets. He threw for over 3,000 yards, for crying out loud, when he was with the Jets. So he's still a serviceable quarterback. But here's how I view it. I think it's going to be Shador Sanders. And for this reason, and for this reason alone, the Cleveland Browns need to find some way to derive excitement from their fan base. Who is going to do that? It's going to be Shedeur Sanders, okay? Shedeur is far from ready from being a starter, but then again, Dylan Gabriel is not close to being a starter either. As good as Joe Flacco has been, he is older. He is an injury concern if he does get hurt. So given that the Browns need some excitement going into training camp, guys, I think the allure and the glitz of Shedeur is just too much for them to overcome. I think it's going to be Shedeur on day one.
Rav?
It's going to be the second greatest quarterback in Ravens history, Joe Flacco, starting for them. This is the biggest mess because none of us know. I mean, Adam wants Kenny Pickett. Some people want Shedeur. Dylan Gabriel has been not good in camp. Like, what are they doing? They got rid of Baker Mayfield. All he's done is become like one of the top 10 top quarterbacks in the NFL since he left. So total mess. Either way, I think it is Joe Flacco because he is, like you said, the grown up in the room. He takes Viagra, all that, etc. I think that's probably the best factor there.
Dylan, who starts week 1 for Cleveland?
You know what? I think Bernie Kosar starts week 1.
Who?
Bernie Kosar starts week 1 in Cleveland.
Bring Bernie out of retirement. Why not?
Him and Vinny Testaverde can fight it out. Him and old Vinny T can test it out.
Oh gosh! By the way, funny story about Bernie Kosar. It was actually a supplemental pick because the Browns and Bills made a trade where the Browns gave up, I think, a first-round pick, 2 1s, 1 in 85, 1 in 86 for the first pick in the supplemental draft, and Bernie Kosar finagled his way to Cleveland because he's an Ohio guy.
Yep. Haas, who starts in Cleveland week 1, man?
The only guy they have been hyping all season, Shedeur Sanders, because you've had all this hype with him. If he don't start, then what's the end game of all this? You had him hyped to be a first-round pick, and he don't go until it was 5th round he got selected. And Prime's going to make sure he's the most paid, the most talked about, the most hyped to make sure his name gets called and makes the first play on the field for week 1 for the Cleveland Browns. Not Flacco, not Gabriel, not Pickett, damn sure not Deshaun Watson. But the craziest part is the Brown fans, whatever you want to call them, the dog pound or whatever, the Brownies. I haven't watched Stadium Lockup in a while, so I don't remember what their fan base is called. They don't care. They're just ready for another sloppy season and act like they're the greatest team on dirt. So let them do their shit, but I'm going to have to say Shedeur Sanders.
Well, you guys know where I'm going with this because I honestly think from everything that I've been reading and hearing, he has been in Joe Flacco's side pocket the entire set of OTAs, and since he's gotten drafted, I think Dylan Gabriel's your starter week 1. I really do. I think you're going to see him go in and show that he knows the playbook, make the plays that he needs to make in the exhibition season, which nobody expects him to throw over 300 yards in an exhibition game. But to show that he can help make this team a little better than what it has been. So give me Dylan Gabriel to start week 1. So
4 different answers.
We did. We got 4 different answers.
4 different answers. That's incredible. Like,
I had no surprise. There's no surprise from me in that. That's why I saved that one for last, because I figured the other 3 were pretty much going to be. We would have pretty much similar answers. This one I figured was going to be all over the board.
Wasn't that the replacement guy, that Shane Falco?
Shane Falco was from the replacements. Yeah, that was Keanu Reeves in the replacement.
Keanu Reeves, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is the nickname for Joe Flacco, for those of you that don't know that. That was Terrell Suggs' nickname. He would always call him Shane Falco all the time. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But yeah, I know we went all over the place tonight, boys. Anybody thinking about anything else that we want to discuss?
No, I'm disappointed I missed the MLS talk last week.
Yeah.
Hey
What
guys,
do you got, man?
I want you to ask me a question about sensory overload because I don't know what it is, but I mean, I get sensory overload. Like, how would you deal with it?
How do I deal with sensory overload?
Take a walk, take a run. I'm sorry, Jason, go ahead. You were talking.
All right. I was just going to say I get in the car and drive away from my wife and daughter for about an hour. That's how I get rid of sensory overload.
I mean, Dylan, you're right by the beach. Go to the beach for a little bit, man.
So wait, I go to the beach and then go look at all the babes, right?
Yeah.
That might give you a different
There
kind
you
of
go,
sensory
Dylan.
overload.
Yeah.
There you got
That
it.
might give you a different kind of sensory overload.
Yeah, you almost made that sound bad or something. I mean, I don't understand.
It's not.
No, but
I mean,
I don't
unless,
know.
for all I know, I would just say take a walk on the beach because I know that ocean like clears a lot of heads, a lot of minds.
I don't know what it is, but true story. I, as someone on the autism spectrum, I have moments, and I don't know what it is, but teddy bears calm me down. True story. Teddy bears calm me down.
Anything that works.
Okay.
I actually had
That'll
one thing to
work,
say. Big Rich and Adam, I just wanted to congratulate the Pittsburgh Pirates organization because you guys last week drafted 2 Fresno State guys. Murph Gray with a
That's
competitive
why I called you
balance
last
speed
week, Jay. I
pick.
wanted you to. That's why I
And
called
you
you
also
last week.
got starting pitcher Jack Anchor in the 6th round, pick number 173 overall. Now, Murph Gray tore it up in the Cape Cod League this past summer. He also used that to become the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year for the Fresno State Bulldogs. If Murph can continue to develop and build into his body, he could be another Andrew McCutcheon type player. I'm not saying he will be. I'm saying he could. As for Jack Anchor, dude is a horse. The dude can give you innings. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but he is a throwback to the old-fashioned days of control pitchers. So we'll keep an eye on Jack Anchor and Murph Gray. Fresno State, Bulldog born, Bulldog bred, baby. Congratulations.
I brought that up last week, Jay. I was trying to call you and get you to come on because we were talking about the draft.
Yeah, sorry. I was doing something else. My bad.
Oh, you're good.
And by the
Pirates
way,
know how to draft players for sure. Like, there's no question.
By the way, true story, in not one of my draft, but a friend of mine's draft. You guys probably haven't drafted as nearly as many teams as I've done. I'm over 50 best DK millionaire draft. Instead of going Jamar Chase, he went T. Higgins at the 101. Oops. Fail. How does that happen?
Here's a thought, though, guys. Here's a definite thought. What do you guys think, or who do you guys think? Because you've got all these receivers. You got your Jamar Chases and your Justin Jeffersons and your A.J. Browns and your Amon-Ra St. Browns coming off of big years. And there's others. CeeDee Lamb, others like that. Who do you see as the most likely to suffer a major setback in performance? I'm not saying injury, performance this season.
Saquon, because Saquon, I mean, he rushed up
No,
the
receivers.
Justin Jefferson. And I'll tell you why. Like, J.J. McCarthy's his quarterback. Like, You're only as good as your quarterback, and I am not a McCarthy guy. I don't think even Justin Jefferson is going to come down a little bit. Like Tyreek Hill we saw last year. He's like number one in the league, and then without Tua, they didn't even look like the same football team. So this is a big gamble they're taking in Minnesota. I'm just not sold. So I think that if there's anything in terms, he'll still be a great receiver, but in terms of stats, yeah, I'm not sure.
Jeremy, you thinking Amon-Ra?
Yeah, he's Amon-Ra is my guy. I'm sticking with him.
Oh, but I mean, are you thinking he could be the big receiver to have the biggest setback this year, or who are you thinking?
No, the one that's going to have the biggest setback is the one that went to the worst team he could have, George Pickens in the diva world.
And on that note, Mr. Dalio, I love that.
Tough question. I mean, they're all good arguments. I was, no offense, thinking Amon-Ra if the Lions take a step back, but I like the argument there about Justin Jefferson. Nothing against McCarthy, but that division is so tough. I could see the Vikings coming in last place in that division. So I think I'm going to change, and I'm going to go in that. I'm going to go with Jefferson as well.
I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. One team's going to be last in the NFC North, and it's not going to be Minnesota. It's not going to be Green Bay. It's not going to be Chicago. It'll be Detroit. I'm not just saying it because Jeremy's here. I think the Lions have lost too much, and Jared Goff can only play for two coaches, that being Sean McVay and Ben Johnson.
Bullshit. The head coach is still there, you idiot.
And Dan Campbell's not a great offensive mind. Whoa.
Shut up and listen. When Dan Campbell took over, all Ben Johnson was a passing game coordinator when they let Lynn stop calling plays. He called everyone, and Goff improved by 28% for his completion percentage through the end of the season. For the last 6 weeks of the season, he was a top 3 quarterback statistically. It continued, and Dan Campbell called the plays to begin with the first few games, and both of them, Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell, couldn't win with that fucking defense that Aaron Glenn ran.
Okay, so when the Detroit Lions start off 0-3 this year, what are you going to say?
Dylan, when your team starts out 0-10 because you got Sunshine Jones throwing the ball to other teams, shut up.
I beg your pardon. I'll take my piece of crap quarterback over your piece of crap quarterback.
Wow.
I mean, would I put my life on either one of them? No. But Jared got a whole heck of a lot more stuff around him, and that's what makes the quarterback good, is what's around him. But I do have to say, I mean, those first 3 games you've got, and for those folks that are wondering, it's on the road against the Packers, at home against the Bears, and then on the road against Baltimore. Could that be 1-2? Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, you got to even admit that could be a 1-2 start.
I want to jump in.
2 on the road.
I want to jump in and say this too about Ben Johnson. Where he went matters as far as it hurting Detroit. He didn't go to AFC or whatever where they're going to play him. They're going to see him a lot. That's going to matter. He's going to know a lot about you guys and everything there. That's going to matter. He's a good play call. I mean,
and it all depends if Caleb Johnson has the intelligence to take a grasp of that offense that Ben Johnson has, that is way more sophisticated than Caleb Williams even seen in college.
Yeah.
If Caleb throws it more than 20 times in a game, I'd be shocked early. They're going to run all the time. Guaranteed. They're going to do like they did with, like Harbaugh did with Justin Herbert. He's a new coach. He's going to come in. He's going to pound it like he's going to pound rock all the time.
Look, if teams would stop giving him a cushion in the second half, Caleb, whatever the hell his name is, He's not very good.
Ryan Leaf. Get it right. Ryan Leaf.
You guys keep saying that. You guys got no faith in Caleb Williams at all.
None.
You're right.
None.
I had none in college, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I didn't even like him in college. So,
Do you guys? I mean, do you guys think that JJ McCarthy is better than Caleb Williams?
Not yet.
I would have liked to seen JJ McCarthy not tear his knee apart.
Okay, do I think he's a better quarterback? Yes. Do I think he's going to be a better pro quarterback? I don't know, because he's used to running a run-first offense. He's in Minnesota with
Aaron
arguably
Jones.
a top 3 receiver in the NFL, a top 3 number 2 receiver in the NFL, and a top 5 tight end. You're with that kind of talent to throw to, you're not going to run the ball 35 times a game.
Lions also best 5 in the league, one of the top 5, I think, overall.
And then they also have Mason and Jones in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean,
They have a good thunder and lightning. I hate to say it, but they have a good thunder and lightning.
I think he's better than Williams. Yes. Is he going to put up better numbers than Williams? Probably not. Simply because he's not going to – I hope anyway that he's not going to throw first, which I think is going to hurt Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson. I think it's going to hurt their numbers. I agreed with you guys about Jefferson having that setback. Jason, what's up, man?
Just to go back and refresh my memory, Rich, were you asking if we could choose any player, or are we sticking to one specific position?
Meaning,
one player who receiver.
No, I'm looking. Okay. Because we got so many. We had so many receivers last year have great years. Yeah, Chase and Amon-Ra and Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown and guys like that. Who do we see as that guy that kind of comes back, not due to injury, but comes back?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs. Okay, Stephon Diggs is gonna play in New England this season. And we can tell he's had a very fun time this offseason partying on yachts with rich models slapping their asses and drinking champagne between their breasts. But I mean, all of that aside, love boat incident aside, he's going to be in New England. Drake May is still a work in progress. We don't know what the relationship is going to be like between May and Stephon Diggs. Also, Diggs has an ego that's about as tall as the Empire State Building. The minute Drake May doesn't throw him the football, the minute he underthrows footballs or overthrows them, he's going to go full on Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco, and Randy Moss all wrapped into one. I don't see Diggs having the same impact in New England's offense the way he was in Buffalo the last couple years and in Minnesota before that. So I think Stephon Diggs will take a step back just because of what I just mentioned.
I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. If Steph Diggs is healthy, I think New England is a bona fide playoff contender. And if not for Josh Allen being in Buffalo, I almost would pick New England to win the AFC East.
New England.
No, but I can tell you this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, Dylan, I was just going to say, even with Stephon Diggs, New England still needs a lot of pieces to develop really quickly on that team. And I think Mike Vrabel is a good coach for them because he knows the organization, obviously coming from that organization. So that means he has Robert Kraft's trust, to at least for now. But Vrabel is also a defensive-minded coach. This is a defensive guy. He's going to place more emphasis on the other side of the football rather than offense. So you're asking a lot for all of those young players who aren't proven yet to develop really quickly. I think New England could possibly pull off 5, maybe 6 wins, but anything more than that, I think, is asking too much.
5 to 6 wins. New England will win double digits this year.
My ass, they're going to win double digits this year. Not in the AFC East.
I'm arguing with Dylan because he said San Francisco was going to suck ass last year, and they fucking did.
That's
I'm
true.
not arguing with Dylan at all because it's like he made me look stupid and maybe not like I knew sports. And then so I am not arguing with Dylan on that.
I was going to comment on that earlier.
The only thing that I can tell you is this. they've got a really young offensive core. Drake May is really young. Travion Henderson's super young. Demario Dawson is super young. You know, they've got really, really young players. Diggs is going to be that veteran that comes in there. But if he comes in and, like Jason said, turns into T.O., that's an issue. If he comes in and is a veteran and leads that team, maybe they're a 500 club because Vrabel is a very good coach. But there is no way on this planet that they contend for a wild card spot, especially in the AFC. When you look at the other teams in that conference, there is no possible way. And I'll stand by that one. There is no chance New England even contends for a wild card spot.
I disagree. I think New England is. I think their defense is really good. I think we're kind of underestimating that. I think the defense is really good. I think they have as good a chance at Pittsburgh as getting to the wild card as well. I'm not a believer in Miami, and Miami and the Jets are terrible. I'm not a believer.
I have New England's schedule pulled up right here. Vegas at Miami, Pittsburgh, Carolina, at Buffalo, at New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta, at Tampa, New York, at Cincinnati, Giants, Buffalo, at Baltimore, at Jets, Miami. I think New England can win 10, 11 games quite easily. I mean, what games would New England be in trouble? Maybe at Miami, at Buffalo, at Tampa.
Miami's going to be the worst team in football.
Maybe Buffalo, maybe at Baltimore. That's it.
They're going to have trouble against the Raiders. They're going to have trouble against Pittsburgh. They're going to have trouble against Buffalo. That's 3.
Wait a minute.
Trouble against at Tampa. That's 4. What?
Wait a minute.
I think the Jets, that's 5 and 6. Cincinnati, 7. Buffalo again, 8. Baltimore, 9. I see 7 and 9 8 and 9 at the absolute best.
Jets, I don't agree at all. We're going to give New England any trouble. The Jets are bad.
You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction by the second New England-Miami game. I think Mike McDaniel and Tua both. One's going to be fired or gone, and the other one will be gone probably soon afterward.
Can I make a statement real quick? I'm looking at some of these teams that we're going over some playoff scenarios in here. I think the NFC is going to be stronger than the AFC this year. I really do.
Oh, and by the way, you ready for this hot take? I've got the Tennessee Titans win the AFC South.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I
agree with New England
going 8 and 9, but maybe being in playoff contention because I think the AFC takes a step down this year. I really do.
Well, yeah, Kansas City's not.
Joe, I can see where you're coming from, but here's the other thing that I'm thinking too, and you guys tell me if I'm way off base. To me, as we sit here on July the 22nd, as far as drop dead terrible teams, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in the entire league that are just drop dead horrible. And the rest of them could actually be halfway decent. I think Miami is atrocious. Cleveland is going to suck so bad it's going to be unbelievable. Dylan, I'm sorry, dude. Jacksonville is going to suck royally.
Wait a minute.
And this may sound way off base, and I hate to say it to you, Haas. I don't think that the Saints are going to be that good this year. I think they win 4 or 5 games this year because of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Moore is in a bad spot right now. Outside of those 4 teams, any other of the other teams, I think, could legitimately contend for a playoff spot if things fall the right way.
I agree, except I add Tennessee to that list.
I think the AFC South is terrible.
Yeah.
Period. I don't think there are, except for Houston's the best team, but they've kind of regressed. I mean, their line is probably 32 or 32 teams. So their offensive is going to do well.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, I think, might come in second, but I just think the other two teams are just lousier.
Don't sleep on the Colts there. The Colts are desperate this year. There's a whole ton of jobs on the line with the new owner there or the Harris or whatever. But don't sleep on the Colts.
No, you can't sleep on the Colts. And I'll tell you what.
Daniel Jones ain't going to work. It just ain't.
Cam Ward, I think, is going to be a really good addition to that Tennessee Titans club. I think Levis is done. So you don't have any kind of competition there. Levis is going to have shoulder surgery. He's done for the year.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any competition, and he knows it's his team, and he can take it from where he knows he needs to lead this team, and it's going to be proven the first year. Yeah, it's baptism under fire. But to be honest, I think Cam Ward can pull it off. Do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? Obviously not. Can they contend to win that division? Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to leave.
Coming out of that division.
Guys, I'm going to leave Spunky Spectrum Sports Big D podcast, and I am hot right now.
Appreciate you being around, man.
And by the way, Calvin Ridley's going to love Cam Ward a lot more than he did Will Levis this past year, but that's either in the other day.
I got to get going, you guys. It was a pleasure talking with you.
How do we get you, man?
Oh, you can find me on Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions on YouTube, at Smoking Jeremy on X. You can find me also on the Huddle Sports Network on YouTube. All of those channels are also on Facebook, and we also go live into the Huddle Sports app on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick.
And I'm also going to duck out two guys.
Outside of that, you can't find him.
Praying for you, JB.
Yeah, Jeremy.
I'm going to duck out two guys. Sorry, I got to go. Been a pleasure talking sports with all you guys again. I respect you guys. Love you guys. It's great to see we all can bring the same passion and love about sports, even when we disagree on it. You want to find me on X? I'm there at Dodger Jason. Please feel free to follow me, connect with me, interact with me, say what you want. No holds barred. With that being said, everybody, I really mean this. Peace out and God bless to everyone. Take care of yourselves, okay?
Thanks,
Jay.
You too, man. You too.
I think Joshua Palmer is going to be breakout receiver of the year.
You think who's what, where?
Joshua Palmer will become Josh Allen's favorite receiver.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The guy was breaking out last year. I can't believe the Chargers let him walk.
2 years ago, Rich, because last year they had Quentin Johnson.
I thought Palmer was really coming into his own. I wasn't a Quentin Johnson guy when he was at TCU. That's just me.
I didn't get it either with Quentin Johnson. I think a little bit overdrafted.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw him miss some balls in college that he should have had that, Max Duggan was throwing and that kind of deal. I figured with Justin Herbert in there because he throws a better ball than Duggan does. If he was having trouble with Duggan's passes, he was sure as hell going to have trouble with Herbert.
It's hard. It's really hard to tell, I think, with that position more than any other position on the field. I think wide receivers, what they're going to do, what they do in college and what they do at the NFL is so different. It's sometimes these guys you just don't know. Like sometimes these guys are so wide open, or they're so much faster in anything. Like you cannot be always in the NFL or NBA or whatever the best athlete on the field all the time. It just doesn't work. The guy I think about with that was like Steve Spurrier when he came to the NFL. He was at Florida. He was just, we're going to be faster. We're going to run everybody. We're going to throw all the time. You can't do that in the NFL. These DBs going to take that stuff away. So it's tough to tell with good receivers sometimes. Mike Williams was a great college receiver at USC, and then he totally busted out at the NFL.
I just think of all the positions in football, that one is the one that depends so much more on somebody else. You know, a lot of it depends on who's thrown on the ball, and no other position on the field really is that dependent on somebody else. So I think that's one of the reasons for what you're talking about there.
Well, guys, what do you
That's
think?
good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's all I got.
An hour 45 in. We want to go ahead and call it quits for the night.
Yeah, that's good, sir. That's all right.
All right. Well, let's work our way around. Joe, how do folks get you, man?
All right, just catch me, Joe Dell Sports on Twitter X. Plus, normally Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We'll restart that next week. The Subway Conversation, that with chat with Jamie Malloy talking about Mets and Yankees.
All right, Rav.
All right. So this week on the Ravery Sports Podcast, you could definitely put Ravery Sports Podcast in on YouTube, Twitch, and X. So this week we're going to be talking about we're going to do one of my favorite videos, State of the Ravens franchise, at the beginning because we're starting training camp. So we're going to just recap the offseason in total with that. Top 10 centers in the NFL. We're going to be talking about that. Talk a little bit about what's going on at FS1. Barstool coming in, going over that as well. Orioles, we're going to talk about that. Obviously, just recap the week like we always do. And also to talk a little minor league baseball. Talk a little bit about the maybe y'all guys haven't heard of the Hagerstown boxcars, flying boxcars, minor league baseball. So we'll talk a little bit about that this week. What's going on in FS1 is crazy right now.
It is. Crazy. It's crazy.
I've heard of the Shorebirds, but not Hagerstown boxcars.
The Delmarva Shorebirds.
Delmarva Shorebirds. We did that like a few weeks ago. The Shorebirds.
When I did radio in Cambridge, Maryland for a little over a year, I covered the Shorebirds for a little while. So yeah,
excellent.
But no, we talked about the FS1 thing last week. In fact, here on the show,
I did too, and it's wild, man. It's wild. Barstool's coming in, man. It's you ain't seen nothing yet, man. And
McAfee is going to, and McAfee is going to FanDuel.
Is he really?
Yep.
Did he announce that? I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow.
Yep. So another Pittsburgh guy. See, greatness comes from Pittsburgh. I keep trying to explain to people this, but
he also went to West Virginia. So there you go. That's there too. There you go.
Did.
There you go, Adam. He's West Virginia guy.
Adam, what do you got, man?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I'm a Pittsburgh kid. Rav, I know you've been doing your interviews and you've been waiting to get me on, so let's set something up too.
You will be the last one. I actually had that in mind. You will be the last one before the football season starts. So I'm not going to do as much during the season. You'll be the last one for football season.
All right. You can get me at Sports Talking It on Twitter, Driving to the Top on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe button, guys. Hit the follow button for notifications. We have lots of shows on here, guys. Like Joe said, he got the Subway Conversation firing back up on Tuesday. Rav's got a show coming out. Rav, are you going live or are you doing the pre-recorded thing?
Well, what I do is I do it live on my channel at 8 o'clock live, and then I put it on Driving to the Top at 11 after it's over. So you can catch it on my channel at 8 o'clock and you catch it at 11. And the pre-recorded, the interviews and things like that, that's not till Saturday. So I talking boxing this time around in the interview.
The big hoss, he's going to get fired up for Dustin Pierre coming up.
Poirier.
Right. And when's that show, tomorrow?
No, I did it last night.
Did you? Did I miss that or did I share it?
I don't know, but I talked that. I previewed Tulane's upcoming football season. I also talked the LSU players that got drafted in MLB, which Chase Shores and Kate Anderson already declared the draft. The other ones haven't declared, so we don't know which ones are going to go back to college or going to go pro. I also talked the Dynamo like always and talked the Astros preventing getting swept twice by the Rangers and the Mariners this last 2 weekends in between before and after All-Star. But next show, I'm going to be talking about the Saints now being the next episode, I'm going to be talking about the Saints now being the Oregon Ducks in the NFL with their new gold uniforms, and Honey Badger announcing his retirement, and Jimmy Graham announcing his retirement.
Do we got wrestling coming up this week, you two boys?
First week of August.
SummerSlam's next weekend.
Two
But
more weeks till we get that going.
But I'm probably going to drop another episode Thursday because, quote unquote, McNeese got a big announcement tomorrow. They're going to announce that media day. I think they're going to Conference USA. That'd be fucking huge if it happens. And I'm going to preview the LSU Tigers 2025 season this coming Thursday as well. So be on the lookout. You can find me at Big Hoss 337. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Marcus on the Go. My show you can find on Twitter and Instagram at onthego_TXLA. And I got my first sponsorship for On The Go. I'm sponsored by Rogue Energy, the #1 gaming drink in gaming, podcasting, streaming, or if you need drinks, energy for your day. I dealt with Rogue Energy in the past.
I was gonna say you guys had them on Elite Wrestling, right?
For you.
Yeah, I've dealt with them for a while. They saw I was doing something else and they say, "Hey, we love you shit. We want to sponsor you too for this." I say, "Come on, let's do it."
Rich, close it out, buddy.
Yeah, very good, man. Tomorrow night, me and you, Steel City Sports Talk.
Crew.top. Sorry, Rich.
You're good.
Crew.top for Josh.
Okay. But yeah, we got Steel City Sports Talk tomorrow night. Of course, we'll get into the Pirates, the Steelers, trying to figure out what the hell the Steelers are working on and trying to figure out what the hell the Pirates are doing. They go and they lose 3 in a row to the White Sox, and then they beat the Tigers like they stole something. So whatever they're doing, all that and a lot more tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central here. Monday night, 2 Tire Change right here, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. I get into all the NASCAR news and information, results from the previous week, preview the next week's races, give you some betting information, give you some DFS info, and hopefully win you some money while we're doing that too. So Twitter, Big Rich 8371 on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it today. Rich Richardson on Facebook, and of course right here with Driving to the Top Productions. So any place you want to shoot your questions or opinions, man, for any of us, hit us up, and we'll be more than happy to take care of you. Guys, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I enjoyed talking with you guys.
Yep, this was fun.
Joe, it's a pleasure to have you out late at night, as they would say.
Yeah, the summer nights allow that. So thank you, though.
It's been great. Everybody's been a part of the broadcast tonight. Until next Tuesday night for another open mic night. My name is Big Rich. So long, everybody.
Good night.